All right, welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, we have 355 stories. Look them up. We're going a new way now. We're answering questions from you people. Okay, so this question comes from our website. You send me an email and I'll answer your question. Okay, send an email to this site, rsbcopstories@gmail.com. Okay, rsbcopstories, I'm reading it obviously, at gmail.com, and I'll answer your questions. May not be now, maybe next week, but I will get to them and try to keep them clean. But if not, I won't answer them. Okay, but I'm gonna answer everything I can, possibly can. Okay, so here's one of the questions that came up, and I can talk a little longer on it. So what's the question?
What was the craziest arrest you ever made?
All right. So I hope you heard that's my assistant there. So what's nice about this is I can take my time and tell you, because I told the story a little snippet, and I'll tell you longer things that happen here. Because a lot of stuff. This isn't just like TV where it's an hour show and you got 40 minutes of show and 20 minutes of commercials and everything happens real fast. Okay? No. This just unfolds. Working drunk watch, deuce watch, 6 to 2 in the morning. We're uniformed officers. I'm working with a guy bigger than me, big white kid, 6'4", 240. I'm 6'4", 230. And so we're working. We're on uniform patrol. So we see a guy we see a DUI, and he is weaving all over the road, and so we pull him over. We get him out, and my partner's a contact officer, and I'm the driver. So he comes over the curve, and he's drunk. Okay, so we're talking to him, and he's a Latin guy, and I'm not sure if he's illegal or not. Doesn't really matter, but he's kind of feisty. So we go to get him. Okay, well, you see cops on TV. Somebody doesn't want to be handcuffed. Sometimes I've seen up to 6 cops grab a guy. Okay, he's fighting. Okay, so partner and I are 500 pounds of beef on the hoof. He's about 170, 180, and we have a hard time getting him cuffed. And we're struggling. He falls to the ground. We're trying to grab him. Well, in the ensuing struggle, we tried to turn. He turned on his back to fight us off, and he fell and he hit his head on the curve. Okay, and he split him up about this long. Okay, blood splurting everywhere. Finally, get him rolled over. 2 minutes of wrestling. That's a long time, guys. 2 minutes. I could sit here for 2 minutes. You go, what is he doing? It's a long time. Okay, finally get him cuffed. He's MFing us. He's effing us. Okay, fine. So we put him in the car. In my partner's backseat with him, and we go to we're en route. We call for a supervisor to meet us at the hospital. He has to be working on. He's bleeding, headshots, bleeding like crazy. Okay, so we go in there, and about the time we're met by our supervisor. This supervisor was a Latino supervisor. He wanted to make it known that he was Latino. Okay, Latino is how he talked when he talked to his own people. When he talked to non-Latinos, he talked like you and me. But if he talked to suspects, he would talk like this. I'm your friend, okay? The voice changes. And I really believe, and my partner and I talked about this, and we all knew in the watch that he was a racist supervisor in the opposite way. Okay, in other words, he was not a white sergeant against minorities. He was the opposite. And later on, I'm going to give you another story. I'm going to explain that in depth because I'm going to go into supervisors. I got some questions coming in about supervision. I'll get into him specifically. Right, I just want to talk about this one incident. So we'll get out. That's another one. We'll do it that way. Okay. Anyway, so we get him in there and we put him on a gurney. It's like a Saturday night. It's not too busy, but it's busy in there, emergency room. And we put him on the gurney. And we take one cuff. We put one cuff on the other hand. Take the cuffs off. Put one on each cuff on each hand, and cuff him to the railings of the gurney. He's laying there. The gurney's up. He's just laying there. Sitting up position. Calm down a little bit. So our Latino, I'm saying it just to mock him, comes in and we tell him what happened. We had to fight the guy, and he didn't. Once he saw the suspect, we could be talking about trip to Saturn, and he just pretty much ignored us. He went right over to that guy. Are you okay? Is the officer treat you right? No, they did. They beat me up. Oh, really? What? I'm like, okay. I'm just standing there listening to this crap. Okay, fine. And I'm thinking that when I became a supervisor later on, I am not going to do this. I'm going to believe my officers. The suspects are 99.9% lying at the time anyway. And so you look at the circumstances and you just go on from there. You don't sit there and try to kiss his butt the whole time. Okay. Are you okay? Are you sure? Oh my gosh, why don't you marry the guy, for crying out loud? Okay, so we're standing. Okay. Okay, so here comes the fun part. Not gross. It's just stupid funny. Here comes the doctor. Okay, now I'm going to say some things here, and believe me, it's not racial. It's just telling you the characters. You can decide if I'm racist or not. I'm a Mexican. I don't care. Whatever. Here comes the doctor, the emergency room doctor. Little guy, about 5'8", 5'9", Jewish gentleman. Okay, probably in his, I'd say maybe mid-40s. Already you can tell he's a liberal. Okay, the reason why, and I know, again, I'm not bad mouthing liberals. I'm just saying that in our police work, you have to be centered. You got to be neutral. You got to come in and, what happened, officer? Okay, and then just do your job. Okay, so he stands there and he goes, what happened? So we tell him, and he walks over and looks at the wound. And it's now caking up on the head. Oh, we're gonna have to have stitches here. Okay, and he goes, well, I can't sew this man if he's handcuffed like an animal. Really? Handcuffed like an animal? Okay. Even Charlton Heston wasn't handcuffed like an animal. He was in a cell, for crying out loud. Okay. Anyway, Planet of the Apes. So anyway, okay, fine. So we go, well, we had to fight him. He goes, I don't care. Now he's digging in his heels. He doesn't want to do anything. He's mad at, I don't know whether he doesn't like police or whether I don't know what he's doing. Okay. So our Latino supervisor says, well, just leave one handcuff on. Take one off, put one on. And then he can spin on the gurney and sit on the edge, dangle his feet, and we can examine him. I go, Sarge, we had a hell of a time fighting this guy. He goes, take one handcuff off. Sarge, take one handcuff off. He's the supervisor. I do what I'm told. Get the handcuff off. He turns on the gurney, sits, the gurney's this way. He's sitting like this with his legs hanging down. He's got one handcuff on. Thank God he had one handcuff left on the gurney. Doctor rolls up on those little stools, with the 5 wheels, rolls up. Now, where does it hurt? He got to the UCK on the F word, the suspect. It's at the same time the little Jewish gentleman got his testicles driven up into his scrotum, okay? He kicked him right smack in the nuts, okay? He flies back about 6 feet, like one of those, Three Stooges shows, slams the wall and falls over, and he's in a fetal position holding onto his Huntleys, okay? And we're just standing, and so as soon as he does that, excuse me, as soon as he kicks him, unexpected, of course, we grab him. Well, now we've got an unhandcuffed prisoner, the gurney's falling over, the nurses are standing back, okay? And now we're rolling on the floor trying to control this guy because now we're fighting him, we're fighting the gurney. We pull him, here comes the gurney. It's like, this is crazy. And our Latino sergeant is just there and they're watching. Really? You have a badge on, you have handcuffs, how about sticking your big fat foot in here? Oh, no, he's just watching. So we finally, another struggling minute or so, minute and a half, get him cuffed, get the gurney out of the way, or kicking it out of the way, get down to business here. Okay, it's done, okay. Get him up, put him back on another gurney, because the other gurney's thrown over there. Cuff him to the thing, we had hobbles, which is a nylon strap. We hobbled his legs, he wants to kick, so we put it around each of his ankles and cinched him down on the gurney, okay. So we look around, and like I said in one of the earlier stories, a lot of the nurses here are dating or married to policemen. So they don't like these little doctors that come out with their little agendas, that they're going to be, more helpful and stuff. That's fine. Don't get me wrong. Doctors should be helpful for everyone, but they also should realize that there's some bad people out there. There are bad people out there. 10% of the population are a-holes. Sorry. That's the way it is. So we look at, where's the doctor? She goes, oh, he says, this one guy was engaged to a police. He goes, he's over there probably putting ice on it. He says, we won't see him for a while. Okay. So we just sat down and waited. He's the only doctor on duty that night. The other doctor was off on a break or something. So we're waiting there. Well, an hour later goes by, and I'm thinking, okay. Oh, by the way, a little side note. After he was all cinched down now, I look over at our Latino. He goes, oh, I guess you have everything okay now. I guess I'll leave. Oh, gee, thanks. What a great guy. Boy, I wonder who promoted you, okay? Attila the Hun? Thank you for starting all this fighting and then leaving, okay? That's just great. And I have to write the report, which means I have to write down everything that happened, including, which I did, his involvement in it. And I didn't give it to him to read, I gave it to the lieutenant. And he read it, and then he takes me off the side and goes, another side note here, maybe I'll do that later, but he just kind of looked at me, why did you give it to so-and-so? And I go, well, you look at the report. He goes, oh, yeah. So I'll get into that on the other story. Yeah, lieutenant didn't like it either, okay? Anyway, so back to the case. Okay, so now he's sitting there. So finally, about an hour and 10, here comes Mr. Doctor comes out. Doctor comes out. Hope the camera shows this. He's walking like this. Okay. Looked like, trying to think back, was it Conroy on Caribou Net? When he was a little dentist, a little old man. That's what he looked like. Only this guy was hunched over. At least Tim Conway was walking like, an old man, kind of half cocked. This guy was hurting, man. So he comes out and I go, I'm trying to be like Mr. Rubino. How you doing, Doc? Oh, I'm doing okay. Okay. So he walks over, stands next to the guys, the guy's like this angle. So he's standing, there. Here's the head, and the body's this way, and they're all standing around the head, getting ready for. The girl brings a tray over because they know they have to sew them up. In the meantime, the girls have taken those special razors and they clear the area of hair. They cut the hair away. You can see the wound, and you can tell. I'm just a novice, but you can tell that's just it's exactly what happened. We didn't beat him. It's just maybe a couple of skin breakage. It isn't like a concussion. It's just a break in the. Looks bad, of course, but she cleaned it off, and you can see it's about maybe 3-4 inches long. So he goes, okay. And she brings over the trays. Look at the trays. He says, give me, and they're standing there with needles. Give me number 3 suture. And we're standing there. We're standing on both sides. And she says, Doctor, we haven't anesthetized him yet. I'm giving him the shot yet. Nurse, give me number 3 needle. And we both went, uh-oh. And then he looks at us. He takes it. Remember, these are all pro police here, the nurses. And they're looking at us. We're looking at them. It's like those soap operas where camera 1, camera 2, we're all looking at each other, He gets the needle. He goes, officers, would you hold him for me? Oh, boy, we looked at each other. We held him down, man. One of the few times I felt sorry for a suspect. Only because of what happened to him. Not because he tried to fight and all that stuff. He starts, man. And I'm not a doctor, but I know he had to sew the underskin first, right? And then the outer skin. Okay? Sub something. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But anyway. So there he goes. He starts to sew. It's all happening at the same time. This guy's screaming. We're holding his head. She's squirting fluid to clean it off because now it's re-bleeding, obviously. And he's going full time, man. And I'm like, oh my God. I can feel his vibrations when he's screaming. And we're looking at each other. We're right across the apartment. We look at each other. We can't believe this is happening. We're going to keep him laughing. And he finally gets done. I don't know how many stitches, 20, 15 or 20. I have no idea. And then he puts it down and clean it up. So they're cleaning it up. Okay, number 4. I have no idea what number it is. And they look at each other. They put the needles down. They figured he's not going to give this guy a shot at all. They put the needles away. And he gets the next one. And there he goes. I have nightmares now. I think about it. I put my blankets up to my chin looking around. I hear that sound. No, I don't. But it was pretty bad. I mean, it was really pain. I mean, pain. So they got done. They put some stuff on top of it. They supposed to have, and they put a bandage, and we had to sign approval to book him in the jail ward. So he kind of waddles over. Would you sign this, sir? Oh, yeah, no problem. He signs it and hands it back, and then he goes, thank you, officers. And I don't know whether he's thanking us for holding the guy down, whether he learned his lesson. I don't really care. Maybe he learned his lesson. He should learn his lesson. Police-citizen contact should see something memorable. He should remember that. When both his little friends got driven up into him, he should remember that, okay? So he says, thank you, officers, and he walks, literally, like Tim Conway, like I showed you, he just kind of, it takes him 10 minutes to go 20 feet. I mean, seriously, he's just barely making it. We're looking over like this, the nurses are cracking up because they're all, so then one of them leans over and tells my partner, we don't like him. I said, I can tell that. So we pick this guy up, and now we have to take him. Now he's pretty much subdued. He's not fighting anymore. I think he's got too much pain. He's got no Novocaine. He's got nothing. Oh my gosh. So, and of course we're saying things like, we'll hit you in the head if you do anything, and we'll just do one of these, And so that's going to hurt. Okay. So we put him in the car and off we went. And nothing more out of him. I think he was more concerned about what was going to happen to him. Maybe he didn't know, unknown, I don't know. I scared him probably. And we booked it, that was the end of it. So, easy come, easy go. But again, I'll get into the story about the sergeant later. But that's my story. And if you want to send your messages, your emails to me, I'll do it again, rsbcopstories@gmail.com. I'll answer your questions. We're doing this new, so bear with us. Little technical advisors, I'm not that bright, so we're trying to get through this. So hopefully you'll be able to answer your questions, okay? Thank you so much. Bye-bye.